Before we get on with the podcast, I wanted to let everyone know that I have 3 books available for sale on Kindle. Recommended Reading for the True Conservative, Bad Democrat, and Evil Liberal. All of them available for $3.99. And now, on with the podcast.
I did go off my antidepressants, which is great. Don't worry. I'm fine. I'm feeling again. So I thought I would get like a natural remedy for depression. So I went to the herbalist, the woman in Whole Foods who wears the badge. And I told her, I was like, I just went off my antidepressants. And she goes, good for you. Good for you. And I was like, thank you. And she's like, do you want to try some CBD oil? It's supposed to be good for depression. I was like, honestly, I don't think I need it now. I think all I needed was someone to say, good for you. And now I feel great. So now anytime I feel down, I just go to aisle 3. I talk to Susan. And I get some self-esteem. Then I started to realize people actually say the exact same thing when you go on antidepressants as when you go off them. So when you go on them, people are like, good for you for really taking care of your mental health. Good for you. And then you go off them and people are like, good for you for being so brave to do this on your own. Good for you. So what I realize is people just don't care.
Good morning. It's Friday, Music Friday, August the 21st, and this is The True Conservative. Welcome to all the butchers, bakers, and candlestick makers out there. I'm Ron, your host, and the only true conservative in the United States today. So today, after the Serenity prayer and the patriotic song of the day, we will have Liberal Misery, Varney and Company, and music. All that and more when I get back. God, give us the grace to accept with serenity the things that cannot be changed, courage to change the things which should be changed, and the wisdom to distinguish the one from the other. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taking, as Jesus did, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it. Trusting that you will make all things right if I surrender to your will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next. Amen. Thank you. Now, Varney and Company.
Hey, Stu, take it away.
All right, good morning, Jackie. Good morning, everyone. It's been a long time since we saw a solid Bitcoin rally, but that's what we have today. As investors zero in on the Clarity Act, it regulates crypto, it's likely to pass, investors like it. Bitcoin is now pushing towards $80,000 a coin. Looks like a 20% gain for Bitcoin just this week. Right now, you're at 77.1. Secretary Bessent says the Treasury buybacks could be bigger than the $4 billion per issue already announced. That kept Treasury yields pretty much in check. The 10-year yield's 4.69, the 2-year coming in around 4.18, 4.19 now. Stock investors like that too. Green on your screens this morning after yesterday's heavy red ink. The Dow up 350, 350, S&P up 38, and the Nasdaq's up over 200 points. Oil, 86.72 per barrel. The price of gasoline nationwide, regular averages 4.10, hasn't budged. California, you're still paying over the odds, 5.59 for a gallon of regular. The cheapest in the country is in Indiana, where the average regular is 3.55. Watch out. Diesel, up another 3 cents at 5.57. Politics. Bernie Sanders endorses the far-left socialist Angie Nixon in the Florida Senate race. She is unlikely to win, but Bernie, well, he's making mischief, widening the divide inside the Democrat Party. A surprise from 2 Senate primary races in Texas is Republican Paxton versus Democrat Tallarico. In Iowa, it's Republican Ashley Hinson versus Democrat Josh Turek. Both contests were secure for the Republicans. Now, the Cook report says both are a toss-up. Perhaps that is why President Trump has decided to dip into his $400 million super PAC. He's going to start spending to help the GOP in the midterms. Premier League soccer. The new season starts today when champions Arsenal play the newly promoted Coventry. The World Cup ended a month ago. Ashley and I have endured a soccer drought. I wonder what Dave Portnoy has to say about that. He's on the show later. Friday, August 21st, 2026.
And that was Varney and Company, Nonprofit News Now. Back in a minute. Thank you. When this happens, when people you thought knew you begin to act distant or suspicious, the temptation is to react in kind. You might consider gossiping in return, manipulating people's opinions, or bending the truth to restore balance. But the moment you do that, you enter the same moral territory that the liberal inhabits. You start to reflect the very traits you despise in them, and in so doing, you confirm the twisted version of you that the liberals have worked so hard to create. Holding to universal value does not mean being passive or allowing yourself to be a doormat. It means responding from a place of inner consistency. Since honesty is a value, you speak the truth, even when it would be easier to lie. Since loyalty is a value, you avoid betraying others, even when you feel betrayed yourself. Since fairness is a value, you don't stoop to character assassination, even when your own character has been dragged through the mud. These are not weak positions. These are positions of immense strength. The truth is, values cost you something. They are most meaningful when they are hardest to uphold. You will likely face moments where your commitment to your values makes things harder in the short term. You may lose friends who believe lies. You may miss opportunities to defend yourself in ways that would make you feel vindicated but compromise your ethics. This is the price of principle. But while the liberal builds a house of cards based on deceit and control, you build something solid. You may be standing alone for a while, but you'll be standing on ground that doesn't collapse under pressure. Your consistency also becomes your credibility. While people may be temporarily swayed by manipulation, they will eventually begin to notice patterns. They will see who reacts with dignity and who relies on deception. Over time, consistency and values have a way of revealing the truth without you having to force it. People remember how you made them feel. They remember who stayed calm under pressure, who refused to strike back in anger, who acted with integrity even when no one was watching. This doesn't mean you need to justify yourself endlessly or seek moral perfection. It means that in each choice, what to say, how to act, whom to trust, you ask yourself whether the decision reflects who you truly are, not who they say you are, not who they want you to become, but who you know yourself to be at the core. That knowledge becomes a source of unshakable identity, especially when your external identity has been hijacked by lies. It takes courage to be principled in the face of manipulation. It requires strength to hold on to yourself when others are trying to pull you apart. But the person who endures with integrity intact becomes untouchable in a deeper, more profound way than any social approval could offer. Because when the storm passes, and it always does, you're not left trying to pick up pieces of a broken self. You're left standing with something intact, something whole, something unbreakable. Clarifying the truth when a liberal has turned people against you is a delicate but powerful act. It's not about defending every accusation or engaging in endless battles over what was said and what wasn't. It is about maintaining a quiet, consistent commitment to reality, even when others are invested in illusion. The liberal strength lies in confusion. They operate in the shadows of miscommunication, half-truths, and emotional chaos. The more uncertain the environment, the more power they hold. Clarity then becomes a direct threat to their influence. But clarity doesn't come through emotional outbursts or impulsive confrontation. It comes through precise, careful action. When you're under attack, your instinct may be to explain everything at once, to present all the evidence, to expose the liberal in front of everyone. But that can backfire. People tend to shut down when overwhelmed. They are more likely to believe the simple, emotionally charged story they heard first in a complex defensive counter-narrative. So, your goal is not to convince everyone immediately. Your goal is to let the truth emerge piece by piece through grounded, intentional expression. This means choosing your words carefully. It means resisting the urge to overshare or justify. When you speak, you do so calmly, sticking to verifiable facts and avoiding speculation about the liberals' motives. You're not trying to diagnose them or destroy them. You're simply telling the truth as you know it. That distinction is critical. If your tone becomes bitter or accusatory, people stop listening to your message and start reacting to your emotion. But if you remain steady, clear, and focused, people begin to notice the difference between your composure and the liberals' theatrics. Sometimes the best way to clarify the truth is by doing nothing publicly and letting your consistent behavior speak for itself. While the liberal talks loudly, often, and dramatically, you live your life with quiet integrity. Over time, people begin to see who truly aligns with their words and who doesn't. People remember how they feel around others, and the contrast between someone who manipulates and someone who stays true becomes harder to ignore. This is a slow process, but truth doesn't need to be rushed. It needs to be rooted. Clarifying the truth also means being clear with yourself when you've been manipulated or smeared. It's easy to internalize the distortion. You begin questioning your own intentions, wondering if you could have done something differently, doubting your memory of events. That internal fog is exactly what the liberal is counting on, so your first act of clarity must be directed inward. You need to ground yourself in what really happened. You might write it down, talk it through with somebody you trust deeply, or even seek therapy to process the psychological impact. The goal is not just to be believed by others, it's to believe yourself again. In some cases, you will be given an opportunity to correct the narrative directly with those who've been misled. When that happens, do it without bitterness. Focus on honesty, not persuasion. Some will listen, some will not. That's not within your control. What's within your control is how you present yourself and how you respond when people come with questions. You don't need to tear the liberal down to lift yourself up. All you need is to stand firmly in truth and refuse to let it be buried under someone else's manipulation. You may find that the truth alone doesn't immediately restore relationships or repair damage. People believe what they want to believe, and sometimes The comfort of the liberal narrative is more appealing than the complexity of the truth. But over time, clarity cuts through the illusion. It might take weeks, months, or even years, but falsehoods cannot sustain themselves indefinitely. Lies require constant maintenance, while the truth simply exists, waiting to be seen. When you commit to clarity, not noise, not drama, but real grounded clarity, you see the conditions for the truth to emerge quietly and powerfully in its own time. Rebuilding relationships gradually after a liberal has turned people against you requires patience, discernment, and humility. The damage done by manipulation can run deep. Friends may have pulled away. Colleagues may have grown distant. And people you once trusted may have bought into a version of you that is false and distorted. This is not only painful, but also disorienting. But if you are to move forward and heal, you must be willing to engage with others again, not from a place of desperation, but from a place of quiet strength. It begins by accepting that not every relationship will be restored. Some people choose to believe the liberal not because they were deceived, but because it was easier. Others lack the maturity or courage to question what they were told. Some relationships may have been based on convenience rather than true connection. And when those are stripped away, it can be clarifying. What remains is the opportunity to invest in what is real. Rebuilding does not mean returning to what once was. It means constructing something new, something more stable, more honest, more aligned with value. Start with those who show signs of openness, those who express doubt about the liberal narrative or seem to miss your presence. These people may not know how to approach you. They might feel awkward, ashamed, or uncertain. Rather than confronting them with accusations or expecting apologies, approach these conversations with curiosity and composure. You're not looking to punish them for being misled. You're looking to reestablish a human connection. Ask questions, listen, share your perspective without demanding they adopt them. Back in a minute. Thank you. This is Ron, your host, the only true conservative in the United States today, bidding adios to all the butchers, bakers, and candlestick makers out there, and reminding you that no one is neutral and that the government has no rights.